All right, Nick, let's talk about the Houston Texans. This is probably a team after the huge splashes they made in the draft and this offseason. One of the most exciting teams, up and coming teams to watch in the NFL. And of course, their young signal caller is a guy that everyone has their eye on. They want to see exactly how good is CJ Stroud going to be. Will he live up to all of this hype? And Nick, we have some articles today to break down how Stroud has been this early on and just kind of how much he is inspiring his team and some other people as well.
Yeah, Miles, the hype train around CJ Stroud is growing. If I was a Texans fan, I'd be really pumped by this. There's a lot of great momentum on this franchise right now. But before we get into that news, got a questions for you Texans fans to answer in the comment section below. Look, we always hear about this time of year of guys ready to make the leap, maybe from year one to year two. Maybe they're kind of buried on the bench, feeling their oats last season rather. This offseason, they got better. They're ready to break out. Give us a guy, though, in Texans history that had that same kind of effect. A guy who early on in his career, didn't get a lot of playing time, but then bam, came out of nowhere and became a big time player for Houston. Give us an example of one of those guys in Texans history in the comment section below. All right, myself, throw it over to you now. What do you have involving CJ Stroud in Houston?
Yeah, Nick, let's get on into it. This is the first article I want to bring out. This comments on a new teammate of Stroud's that they've grown really close, and I think he has seen a lot of stuff in Stroud that is very important. That is none other than former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Noah Brown. And it starts off by saying receiver Noah Brown spent 6 seasons in Dallas playing with Dak Prescott. Brown was the Cowboys' number 2 wide receiver behind CeeDee Lamb, and at least statistically, with career-high receptions and 43, receiving yards 555, and touchdowns 3. That was last year, of course. He had a good rapport with Dak Prescott last year. Brown, though, is now in Houston with a rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud and sees some of Prescott's qualities in Stroud already. He says they're both great quarterbacks, great arm talent, Brown said via Cody Davis of SI.com. He said, that's a great class to be in, and I think he has all the potential to live up to that and maybe even surpass it. So, I'm rooting for CJ. I'm willing to have his back on anything. I know CJ has great arm talent, Brown said. That's a little bit of time I've been here working with him. He's picked up the offense fast. He's taken ownership of his reps, and I think he can only lead to positive things. It's from NBC Sports, of course, Nick. So I think touching on some of this, Nick, there's a lot of really interesting tidbits in here. There's the comparison to Dak Prescott, talking about how he already thinks that CJ Stroud can overcome Prescott. I think there's a lot to unwrap there. But before we get into that, Nick, I want to hear your thoughts on it. I want everyone to stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear a word from our partner of today's video, that is Neuro. They have a lot of great products to give you a quick and easy boost of energy. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video to hear more about Neuro and their products and to get your hands on our discount code. That's the most important part. But Nick, let's get into it. What do you think about Noah Brown's comments and comparisons of CJ Stroud?
So here's what the interesting thing is. Dak Prescott's biggest strengths are his intangibles. He's a smart guy. He's a great leader, great at the program, great face of the franchise for the Dallas Cowboys. So the fact that Noah Brown's coming out and saying that, hey, I think CJ Stroud is on a similar level or could potentially pass Dak Prescott is very interesting to me. And he mentions great arm talent. And I think that's the highlight there, because you're not going to be able to beat Dak Prescott on his intangibles, because that's where he's 100 out of 100. Prescott's limitations are on the physical side, his actual physical attributes in terms of throwing the football. And that's kind of highlighted by the second article we have, Mize. If you want to go ahead and throw it up, this is also from NBC Sports, talking about former Dallas Cowboy, now Chargers offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. And of course, the article highlights a few things there, but I want to focus on the middle part here just to make this quick and easy. Talking about Prescott, he says, the best person, I think the best leader I've ever been around easily. And in all honesty, player or coach or anything, I think his ability to connect with the team in all spectrums is rare, and I've never seen it in any other way. So again, he's talking about Dak Prescott here, who Noah Brown also compares CJ Stroud to. So the only way here, I'm going to highlight this again, Mike, the only way CJ Stroud could surpass Dak Prescott is if he is at the same level in terms of maturity and leadership and handling the team, being a veteran, being a leader of the offense, face of the franchise kind of dynamic, is to be that kind of guy and to pair that with elite level physical tools. If Stroud can have that, and it sounds like he is, watch out right away for the Houston Texans. They're going to be dynamic and they're going to be good. They're going to be a threat right out of the gate. I think this is real exciting stuff out of Houston, guys.
Yeah, Nick, and we talk about the leadership for Stroud, and we go in and kind of hear some comments on people talking about his leadership already. This was from over on Fan Nation. It says, although he's yet to take a single snap at the professional level, Stroud is already receiving rave reviews in Houston. This is per Albert Breer. He said, nothing has looked too big for Stroud, which makes sense given his stage at Ohio State. He's shown high aptitude and is starting from zero when it comes for playing in pro-style offense, Bray wrote. He said the coaches and the front office folks have seen other players, even vets, gravitating towards Stroud, who's easygoing and comfortable as a leader. So once again, Nick, exactly what you're talking about here. Kellen Moore talks about Dak Prescott's leadership. Noah Brown talks about CJ Stroud, how great his physical tools are, and the ability to overcome. Then we see that players, coaches, and front office are gravitating towards Stroud because of his leadership, because of his comfortability in this setting. He already seems like he is very set in that way to be that strong leader that you need to be. So I think exactly what you said. He is going to be able to get those intangibles, and he already has the elite level physical tools. So I think this could be a Dak Prescott, as you said, without any of the flaws. I think this guy has the potential to be something very, very special.
All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner in today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big time game winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Miles. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.